Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Conversations, a podcast where we can go a little bit deeper with so many folks who are familiar in the Pittsburgh sports scene. Our guest today, he's a two-time All-Star, former Pirates fan favorite, someone who played darn near everywhere on the field, wore his heart on his sleeve. With their season starting this week, his first as a retiree, I think. I thought Josh Harrison would be a perfect one to come on and talk a little ball. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. It's going to be a great conversation. I'm excited for it. Today's episode, we're going to start out by talking a little bit about the current team. Still features one of Josh's longtime friends in Andrew McCutchen, the old man still doing it at age 38. We'll also look back at Josh's career, talk about what he's doing now. Also talk about the life of a utility player. It's not easy. Josh has done that as well as anyone at the highest level. But first, I want to tell you about our first sponsor, Oneil Roofing Company. When you think of great roofs, you think of Oneil Roofing. With over 20 years experience, Oneil knows your roof is your home's first line of defense from rain, wind, snow, and ice. That's why Oneil Roofing's standard for perfection is so important. You can trust their team of experienced installers will treat your property like it's their own. When it comes to roof replacements, Oneil Roofing is Pittsburgh's only choice. Visit greenewaltroofing.com today or call 412-314-8882 and schedule your free estimate. PA contractor number 36262. All right, Josh, let's get into it. How much do you follow the current Pirates now? I know you're busy as a husband, as a dad, not a bunch of free time, but your buddy, Kutch, he's still doing it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know my boy Kutch is still out there doing it. We still talk quite a bit, but outside of that, I don't really follow the current team as much. But granted, I'm filled in, a lot through conversations that I'll have with him.
Yeah. Are you
So
the
I guess you could say that.
are you the type of guy that, when you're done, you're just done? Like, I don't know, maybe you haven't thought about the next phase of life. Does it feel good now just to kind of back away, to pour yourself into your family and that sort of stuff?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I was able to play this game, for 13 years. To even play it, for one day at this level is something that, guys don't take lightly. But I say that to say I am enjoying the time with my family.
Yeah.
People say you get to make up, for lost time, and I don't think you can make up for lost time. You just make the most of what you have. So it's been very, very fun and rewarding to be able to be present, on a day-to-day basis for things that, I wasn't always able to be at.
I know you guys would never say it and you never should, but like you do miss a lot, and you're not going to like cry because you guys have a great living, but I don't think your average fan understands how much time you guys spend at the park, how much you have to sacrifice with your family. So I fully understand when your days are up, man. There's so much stuff that you guys have missed. It's probably nice to take your kids to school or, be there to pick them up or something. I know just myself, like covering a baseball season, it's so nice to integrate yourself back into your kids' lives again, man. Jeez. It's
Oh yeah,
hard.
things, I don't say we take it for granted, but things that most people probably take for granted, like you say, simple things. This was the first year that I was able to be home for a first day of school. So,
Oh,
you know,
man.
that small things like that, I always FaceTimed them and got the pictures, but it's something being able to drop them off and pick them up and actually hear about the first day and not, a conversation while I'm in a, clubhouse before BP.
Right.
Um, but it's been fun. As I said, it was all things that I knew when the time came it wouldn't be an issue for me. COVID, season gave us a little test of that. Then we had to lock out, and also I've always been a person that's kind of been able to know what the future's not necessarily going to hold, but to know that I was going to be able to enjoy some things that I missed out. And having two daughters, they're opinionated. They'll let you know.
I love it. I don't have two daughters. I have two sons, but they still have opinions, man. They drive the bus. Okay, so you say you talk to Kutch now. Do you guys talk a lot of ball? Do you talk about life stuff? Maybe all of the above? Like, what are those conversations like?
We don't talk much ball. Obviously, we'll
Okay.
talk ball, because I'm always checking in, if I'm catching a game here or there, or seeing some highlights, and so I'm always checking in. And at the same time, I know Frage just re-signed back there,
Yep.
Frazier. Um, Matt Haig, hitting coach.
That's right.
So very 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 familiar with a few things that have happened there, but as he and I talk, our conversations are usually, laughing at our kids. We send a lot of videos and recordings back and forth between ourselves and our kids, just laughing at how much, they remind us of ourselves and how, you know, just think that we know that as long as he's been able to do what he's doing, and as long as I was able to, family has always had the heart of it. So being able to just talk to him and check his pulse, and
Yeah.
he's not getting any younger, but to see,
Do you
that
need him
that's
a
for
little bit?
that's for anybody, but for him to still be doing it, that's hats off to him.
I think it'll be so cool if he's able to do this twice. Be at the center of the Pirates, get into the playoffs once, and then just being able to the negativity that has existed around here. I think they're going in a good direction, but to do it again, man, that would just be so cool to see for him. All right. So, and speaking of that, Josh, I'll use this as a transition. I went up to him, I don't know, a week or two ago or something, and I was asking him, does what the position that the Pirates are in right now, does it remind you at all of like 11, 12, 13, that succession of years? And he kind of laughed at me. He's like, of course it does. I've answered this question a bunch. He was like grouchy Kutch. And then he went on to give a super well-reasoned, thought out, intelligent answer. From what you've seen, like, and your own experience, like what is that like? That group of growing together, winning together, you go through some crap and then you're better for it. And then it all comes and it feels, beneficial. And do you see any similarities between the two teams?
I mean, you definitely draw some similarities, especially with the growing pains, as you mentioned. To have some guys that have come up and go through the system together, you want to have some familiarity, because at the same time, those are guys that you've strapped it on every day with, knowing that you've come through the minor leagues, and getting to the big leagues. That's the ultimate goal, is to get there and win. Winning the minor leagues, trust me, it's cool, it's fun, but like everybody that's winning there is like, nobody's really, you're not really remembered there. You want to get to the big leagues and help the big league team win. And they got some young guys that have come up with some talent, and shown some flashes of being able to put some things together. And it's 162 games for a reason, and with that you need some things to go your way, which is health. And I know a lot of things haven't gone their way with that, and I know those seasons that we were able to do that, we were healthy for the most part, but at the same time, when we did have guys go down, we were able to pull guys from, maybe it was AAA, maybe guys off the bench that were able to keep us all together, because we had all been there and done that over the past couple years, coming up through the ranks and blending with the guys that were already there. So that combination of having guys that have been through a big league grind and know how to get there, and having guys that are eager and want to play and want to continue to do that.
Yeah.
That's what make teams special. And if Kutch is saying that, Kutch will tell you.
He was very honest with it, man. I love it. He's such a good talker. And he was talking about, one of the things he said was how much you guys were able to narrow your focus and focus on that day and be really good that day and forget about yesterday. Don't think about tomorrow. And there was an advantage. So I'm genuinely curious how this team's able to do that. I don't think that was always the strength of the Pirates, or at least the past couple of years. I think they let things kind of snowball on them. So I'll be curious to see.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we definitely did not get ahead of ourselves. We took it a day at a time, because I mean, we knew what was ahead of us. It was a little different time than what they are right now. We were 20 losing seasons, and not necessarily, we weren't just happy with breaking 500 that year. We
Yeah.
we were like, because I remember when that talk came, everyone was like, 500 is cool, but that's not what we're here for. That's, you want to make the playoffs. You want to win. You want to win meaningful games and play meaningful games, and we were able to do that. Literally focusing, literally like one day at a time, one pitch at a time. I know it sounds so cliche, but our focus really was like a hyper focus, to where it was able to put all the phases of the game together, pitching with the with defense and hitting. But on top of that, base running was something that we really took pride in, taking extra bags and finding where we could steal bases and literally put more pressure on the other team.
Is that something that can make a team better, Josh? And what I mean by that is, you might not look at a team with a bunch of all-stars, but if it plays collectively better and finds these areas that you can kind of exploit, is that a way to, I'm not happy with the way I'm asking this question, almost make find these hidden advantages. And can this year's team do something like that? I guess is what I'm thinking of. I'm trying to think of small, subtle ways to improve, and this seems like it would be one of them.
Well, I'll tell you straight up. You're not asking the question wrong, but I'll just be straightforward with you. It's not
Yeah.
even an issue for the Pirates. It is an issue across, I don't even say baseball, sports in general, accountability.
Hmm.
Um, if you
Interesting.
really want to do it, you will focus on those areas of the game. When we won those years, we took it upon ourselves to make sure that if we weren't giving great effort, it didn't have to come from Clint. It was gonna be somebody in the locker room like,
Like
hey,
who?
it'd
Yeah.
been Clint Barmas, AJ Burnett, Russ
Really?
Martin,
Like you
Kutch.
guys just policing yourselves.
Yeah. I can remember one game we had a conversation, and Clint gives a conversation. I don't care who you are, if you're not running the ball out, you're coming out, this or that. And I distinctly remember Kutch hit like a shot, like a rocket, like one hop to the shortstop or third baseman. No chance he's gonna beat it out. Kutch jogs, and soon as Kutch gets to the top, Kutch don't even get down the step. He said, "I'm out, ain't I?" And Clint was like, "Yep." And Kutch. So, but for
Wow.
Kutch to be like, "Yeah, I'm out," and then come like, "Hey, y'all, run the ball." It was a thing where it's like, yeah, there was nothing that Clint really had to say. It was more of an action thing where we took it upon ourselves, and you don't really see that, and that's no knock to it's just the way that things are right now. Teams that win are teams. I mean, why did the Dodgers do it? Because they hold each other accountable. I know Dave Roberts is a great manager, but I guarantee he doesn't have to say anything. Freddie, Mookie, somebody's gonna say something to somebody that's not giving the right effort. They're not saying making mistakes, mental errors, win and lose games. That's the difference in the playoffs.
Man, I never heard that story about Kutch and Clint, and that's a
Oh
good
yeah,
one, man.
I mean, he got to the top step, and Kutch looked at. He said, "I'm out, ain't I?" And Clem's like, "Yeah." And from that point on, hey, it was like, "Hey," and it was like, "Hey, y'all better run it out." And Kutch was like, "Hey, that's on me, y'all." Kutch
I
flat
mean,
out to the team. He was like, "That's on me."
if you're gonna bench Kutch, everybody else can go down at
Yeah,
that point, man. Jeez.
and I
But
mean, this is like second at first. This might be his first at bat,
yeah.
first second at bat in the game, and it's
Wow.
like sent the message, and our team's like, "Yeah." Um, but it was also something, as I said, we took it upon ourselves to say, you know what, let's make sure that when teams play us, they know, hey, you better come with it, because any play you take off could be the deciding factor, and that's just playing baseball. That's why I
Yeah.
said that's just playing baseball. That's attention to detail.
Yep. All right, let's talk about not playing baseball next. I want to talk about Josh's current life, what he's doing these days. But first, we have a 30-second message from the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
And welcome back to Saturday Conversations with Josh Harrison. Josh, you are retired? You are not retired? I know you were in camp with the Reds last year. I don't think you were in camp with anybody this year. You're living the dad life, the husband life. Are you hanging them up, taking a pause? What are you doing?
So I guess you could say, I mean, I haven't officially filled out my paperwork.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I still work out, not looking to get a call or anything. I mean, I've had some opportunities, but nothing really worth, where I'm at now. I'm enjoying family time. I had
Yeah.
an opportunity last spring, um, and it didn't work, for whatever reason. But I was content with whatever happened. I thought I could have helped that team,
Yeah.
and they saw otherwise, which, as I said, no hard feelings. I think more people around the city were probably more upset about it than me, just for
Yeah.
me to have an opportunity to play at home. But as I said, I was excited for the opportunity to play at home and spend time with my family, but it honestly helped me go to my next chapter, which either way I was going home one way or another,
Yeah.
playing for the Reds, or I was going home to, do what I'm doing now, which is be full time with my wife, my kids, and been pretty much, on our schedule, which is, probably just as busy, if not busier.
You got to get it easier and get back into playing pro ball or go get a job or something.
Oh
Uh,
man, two daughters, dance and volleyball. Oh
man,
yeah.
Yeah, running you bragging. So have you given thought to what you want to do? I'm not rushing you or anything. I'm sure
Oh,
you've
no, no, no,
given
no.
some thought. What do you think?
Honestly, I am just enjoying life. I get to wake up with my family every day, take my kids to school, pick them up. I help coach my daughter's volleyball team. I coach their basketball team.
Nice.
They dance. So I get a chance to just be around their schedule, see them grow and see them blossom and, to their interest and spend time with family, see my parents more, see my brothers more. My wife gets to see, her parents, we get to see the in-laws more. Enjoying a lot of things that we haven't had a chance to do. Took our first family summer vacation last year.
Oh, nice. Where'd you
Enjoyed
go?
our first Amelia Island.
Oh, good. There you go.
So, and enjoying a lot of first spring breaks, things that, as I said, sound trivial to people, but as I sit here 37 years old, I can say I've officially had my first spring break, officially had my first, summer family vacation. And I, my wife, my birthday's July 8th. I don't have a recollection of a
You
birthday
get to have a
not revolved
birthday
around
party,
baseball.
Josh.
So last year she took me on a birthday trip, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, birthday's always been baseball from since a little kid. So small things that as I said may sound trivial, but you know definitely have not taken it lightly because it's all things that time spent with the ones that you loved. I think you get to make the most of.
Very cool. I want to finish out our second segment talking a little bit about opening day. We're recording this on Tuesday before opening day around Major League Baseball, but I want to ask Josh about any memories he had of opening day. First, I want to tell you about UFC Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, are you ready to train like a champion? UFC Gym has everything for your total body health under one roof. They have classes from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to Zumba, personal training, cardio, weights, cryotherapy, infrared saunas, and more. All for an unbeatable price. Not sure where to begin? All members get a starter session with an expert coach to help map out your fitness plan. Your first visit is on us. Drop in with a free parking at Market Square or the waterfront. Follow UFC Gym Pittsburgh on social media. Train different. Feel unstoppable at UFC Gym. All right, Josh, opening day. Do you have any good memories, stories, thoughts? What's the craziest opening day thing you've ever experienced? There's no way that's a normal day for a Major League Baseball player.
No, opening day is hectic.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's fun. I'm thankful to have experienced however many I experienced. I'm trying to think. I've had some fun opening days. I can remember, I think it was 2015. Um, I think it was after my first All-Star year, our home opener. I think it was against Detroit.
Oh,
I,
man.
I,
Was
first
that the
pitch lead.
freezing game?
It was cold. Uh, no, I think it was kind of nice. It was a sunny day. I mean, we
Okay.
we played Minnesota one year opening day that was kind of like snowy and stuff.
Okay.
But opening day, first pitch at the bottom of the first, I hit a homer right center off Anibal Sanchez, and I just remember the energy in the stadium was nuts. Because that was also 2015. We opened up the season against the Reds
Yep.
in
This was
Cincinnati,
I'm looking up the box
and
score with you right now. It's 2015. Yep. That was a
yeah.
home opener.
So, but our very first opener was at Great American at home. So at home for me, and we played the first game, and the next day was an off day. I had to go to Pittsburgh. Uh, that's when I signed my contract.
Oh, okay.
And then the next day it was announced, and we had the press conference at Great American. So 15, those opening days are probably the coolest for me because I went into opening day in Great American knowing that I had agreed to a contract, but it couldn't be official till we played opening day, and I had to go back to Pittsburgh Tuesday or whatever the next day off day to complete my physical.
I got it.
Um, and then we go to open up at PNC in the bottom of the first pitch home run, and it was just
Awesome.
it was electric. I can remember that, and that's one of my opening day memories that I'll remember because as I said, I signed my contract, you know, Great American, but then our opener at PNC first pitch leading off, it was crazy.
Very cool. You know what I've always wondered? The Pirates are going to play at 4:10 against the Marlins, or they will have played this game by the time anybody's seeing this podcast. That day has to just feel like 7 days smashed into one for you guys, does it not? Like, I mean, it feels that way on the media side. Like play that game at 1 o'clock, man. We all want to go. I don't know.
I think that's why if you look around, I think you get an off day after opening day. It's usually you
Yes.
play and then an off day. I'm pretty sure.
Usually, yes. Although this year, I think I don't think the Pirates have an off day Friday.
Oh,
I'll
really?
check that too. Yeah.
But it's usually like that just from a standpoint like opening day is a lot. Like it's a lot of excitement depending on where you're opening up. Like, Cincinnati here, they do a parade every year. Can imagine I don't know if the Dodgers open up at home, World Series, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
depending on where you
Often
open up, it's
circumstance.
a lot. It's a lot. But it's one of those things where if you get excited for opening day, you should be excited for all 162. It's not that easy though. but opening day is
You would know.
always, opening day is always an exciting thing because it's like the start to a new season. It's like, you made it through spring training and it's like, all right, here we go, game 1.
Yeah.
And everybody, you want your family there, you want to enjoy it, and hope you hope to do something cool, because this is when it counts.
Yep. Very cool. So let's finish up talking about Josh's one, how he got going in baseball, but 2, became a utility guy, prepared as a utility guy. I don't know. I'm fascinated by this. Maybe you're tired of talking about it, Josh. If so, I'm sorry. Do have a quick ad read I want to get through. The show's also brought to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. Law firms come and go, but what law firm has been here in Western PA fighting for injury victims for more than 40 years? Edgar Snyder and Associates. What firm has a staff of over 130 people who live and work here? Edgar Snyder and Associates. Law firms come and go, but Edgar Snyder and Associates is a name you can always trust. Remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you. If you've been hurt in an accident, call 1-800-94-EDGAR or visit edgarsnyder.com. They're available 24/7. All right, Josh. So in preparation for this podcast, I was reading a story about how you got started playing baseball. And I don't know if this is true or not. You know what I'm about to ask you?
Yeah, my brother's with
your brother with a fork or something in the kitchen. Really?
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Please share for like the 900th time, I'm sure.
So my brothers are probably better at sharing it than I am. So both of my older brothers, Vince and Sean, they're 4.5 and 7.5 years older than me. And I started playing T-ball at the age of 3. The only reason they let me play, they said I couldn't play because I was too young, too small. And my mom was like, no, he can play. And I was like, the only way he can play is if you coach. So my mom was my first coach.
Yeah.
And she always tells everybody, she taught me everything I know.
That's good. That's good.
But they said I would be at the table with a fork and they would like ball up, like the straw, piece of paper from the straw or a napkin, throw it to me, and I'd use the fork as a bat. And that's like, all right, we got to get them on the team. I was 3 years old, play T-ball.
Your versatility goes back way further than I even knew. This is impressive. So in all seriousness though, okay, so you start playing ball in the kitchen, you start playing organized baseball, all that stuff. Like, were you always the type that just bounced around and played everywhere? Did you have a set position? No. You had a set position.
Growing up, me and my brothers played football, basketball, and baseball. I played shortstop, point guard, and I was either running back or quarterback.
Okay.
And that was all the way through high school. Even in senior high school. So even my sophomore year of high school, when I was on varsity, I started out playing second base a little bit, but then they ended up moving me to short. And I played short junior year, senior year, and I went to UC my freshman year as a shortstop. And I think the first series we opened up against the University of Florida, I was starting shortstop as a freshman. And at like our second series, some guys got injured. And that from then on, it was like, hey, can you play left field? Can you play right field? Can you play third? Can you play second? I'm like, yeah. Like our catcher takes a foul ball that misses his cup. They pull me from shortstop, first game of the series, and put me behind the plate. Never called a damn. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, we need you to catch. I'm like, I've never called a damn. They're like, we need you to catch. I had to catch the rest of game 1. I caught all of game 2. And then game 3, our catcher came back in like the 6th, 7th inning, and they pulled me from catcher and put me in left field.
You ever think about how you're able to do that? Like just being an athlete, I'd guess. Probably playing a lot of different sports and being.
I mean, for sure, playing a lot of sports. I'll be honest. I got two older brothers that growing up, they were all like world class athletes in all three sports.
Yeah.
So I got to see it firsthand, and also got to play against it firsthand. They never took it easy on me, but I've always been very in tune with my abilities and what how I can move. I've always been kind of shorter, so I've always been very quick, been able to change direction, and I've always been observant. So even if I was, shortstop, I got to know where everybody's got to be on the field. I got to know how they move. If I'm point guard, I need to know where my center needs to be, my shooting guard. If I'm, quarterback, running back, I need to know all these things and how people move. So as I'm playing these positions, if I go to left field, I'm not just going out there to be like, oh, let me track the ball. I'm out there. I understand the ready position. I understand how to take reads. And just using my ability, my natural ability, and my IQ and my instincts. And I talk about it like it's easy. I'm not sitting here like saying it is, and I'm not trying to
No,
toot my own
no.
horn. Because you look around the league, every team now has a guy that tries to do it. And I'm not saying that to be funny, but like, truth be told, how many people can you look around the league that are like, yeah, there's not very many. Because it's not easy to do. And off the top of my head, there's one that I can think of that I was like, yes, Kike.
Kike, yeah.
But even then, before Kike, when he first came up, he was just playing strictly like second or short. And I'm sure he was probably, man, I can play these other positions just to get on the field. But outside of that, the only other person that you will kind of see was like, Sean Rodriguez played with us. You would see Sean play first, second, short. Like just knowing that you're an athletic, you can kind of understand how the body moves. You might not be a gold glover at all 7, but you can be above average at 4 to 7, and that's still giving the team. And I felt I was above average at everyone I stepped out.
Yeah, I hope you get a chance to watch Jared Triolo. I think you'd like his game. He reminds me a lot of you in that, like, he can go anywhere and he's never uncomfortable. Like, he looks like an athlete playing that position. It's not like
I'm. Do you know if he played multiple sports growing up?
Man, I know he. No, I don't.
I
know he played multiple sports. I just don't know if he played like football, basketball, baseball,
soccer, or something. No, I was just thinking.
Yeah. I think there's something to that. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah,
they all go hand in hand.
Yeah, and is there anything about how you approach the game? You're kind of talking about it like body control and stuff. I'm trying to think of like a thread that goes through all these guys like Kike Hernandez or Sean Rodriguez or, who am I leaving out? Ben Zobrist is another one. Marvin Gonzalez. There's these guys that are they're so versatile. Is there anything other than being exposed to a lot of sports or being able to think that you think is important?
One,
that's it.
Multiple sports, but also you gotta have good hand-eye coordination.
Going
from the infield to go from the outfield to the infield is a lot harder than going from the infield to the outfield.
Yeah.
You see infielders all the time try to go track stuff. Outfielders, they might, when they run out in between BP, take a ground ball or two as they running out to the outfield, but you see them keep going to the outfield because they know, like, it's a little different.
You know what teams need, Josh? We'll end on this. They need a coach like yourself. They need somebody to like coach the versatility. You're like not the expert coach, somebody to coach the utility guys.
How much they talking?
There we go. We'll end it there, man. Thanks so much for joining me. This has been a blast. Stay well. Hope to see you in Pittsburgh this season.
Will do. My pleasure.
All right. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get this episode of Saturday Conversations and so much more. For Josh Harrison, I'm Jason Mackey. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.